Hit me!
You're kidding me. Right now is when you freeze? Okay, let me play that for you again, because you literally just froze. Stop laughing. Shh, shh.
I heard it, though. The sound stayed going, though.
Well, good. Here you go.
Hit me!
Episode 299.2.
You've got to throw some cold water on this situation. Start talking about nerd stuff.
You know, nerd culture is mainstream now, so when you use the word nerd derogatorily, it means you're the one that's out of the zeitgeist.
System activate.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. It's a tech podcast. But we are a ton cooler than your typical geek.
You guys rock.
And now, here's Will and Trent.
So, supposedly, Trent, I've been doing a little tuning around here,
Yeah.
right? And so now I got it set up, because it used to be the intro would play. Nobody cares about this. But it used to be the intro would play, and then, we would hold. I wouldn't say anything more because, the audio level on that thing was too loud for us to talk. So now I've got it trained to where I can just do an automatic fade on the keyboard, and everything's golden. Anyway, hi everybody, welcome. Another edition of NetHeads. My name is Will.
I'm Trent.
Or at least you're trying to be.
I'm trying to be Trent.
Yeah, you keep freezing. Is it freezing all over on all sides, or is it just freezing on?
It freezes occasionally, but the audio is always good.
Oh, okay, good. So if I just see you not moving, I know.
I'm still hearing you just fine.
All right, but I don't know if I'm hearing you when you're not moving. That's the rub.
Right.
That's the rub.
If you want, I could rub my beard like all the time against the mic so that you have a constant sound from me.
Ooh, that would be bad.
or I could just do like mouth noises the whole time. NetHeads ASMR.
Oh.
So this is the sound of my beard scratching, scratch.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't. I think that would be bad. Anyway, welcome everyone. Another edition of NetHeads. My name is Will.
And I'm Trent.
You want to take part in the program? You have literally. Now, I'm not kidding. You got one of many ways, and there's literally only one of them I'm not watching.
Yep.
And
it's the only one I am watching.
That is correct. That is Twitter.
Yeah.
Trent, tell them about it.
Use the hashtag NetHeads. Be like Super Bong Man and our good friend, longtime friend, Tom Kate. Just use the hashtag NetHeads, whether it's now or after the fact. Throw a tweet out, hashtag NetHeads, and we'll get at you. We'll holler back, y'all.
Yep, always part of the conversation. Now, Trent, additionally speaking, there is a little feature built into the window now when you're watching the video, whether you're watching on the tubes of YouTube. No, tubes of you. Why do I always gotta play?
Yes.
Look, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, if you supposedly, if you chat within those, right, we'll now see the messages pop up in the video stream. So, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's working, but if it is, I can just say like hi. And there we go. I just sent a message saying hi. Now I can come over here and theoretically I look and look. Yes.
It popped up. It said hi.
Yes, me saying hi on Twitch, on Facebook, and YouTube.
To all of them. That's cool. That's integration though, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is kind of like I know it's been a while since I was on the show and we did a show, but it's kind of like we were talking that time that like that this is like the last thing that's needed is to really unify all of our different stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that we can still reach everyone in their own preferred platform, but in one point of contact.
Yeah, exactly. And the beautiful part is now, I don't, because I've always got, look, nobody cares about this shit, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I've always got two things going when the show is on. I've got you on the one monitor that, I switch to. There's Trent, la-di-da. And then there's me, and then usually it's the control interface, too, because we use OBS, Open Broadcast Software. It's so easy to use. Combine it with the Stream Deck by I don't know who makes it, and you've got something where it's so easy to switch, you could literally do this almost blindfolded.
Yeah.
But now, so you are the man on Twitter, and if people are chatting on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Twitch, I'll see them here. Like Sean Ryan chiming in saying, yes, it's working, guys, which he said.
It's working!
Yeah, he's saying like he said that like 4 minutes ago too. So, but also if you did want to give us a call, and I'm going to do air quotes. If you want to give us a call, you can via Skype. It's NetHeads on air. That easy. And
I don't know why my my Anakin in a pod racer looks so dirty, but it does. It just looks wrong. It's working.
Yeah, because you're just moments away from like.
I know. It's so wrong.
You're welcome, everyone. Hey, Trent. Nice Spider-Man T-shirt. That is the animated logo from what, the 90s?
Yeah, the one that had the theme was done by the guitarist of Aerosmith, and they even reference him in some of the episodes about like not as cool as the guy from Aerosmith.
Steve Perry? Is that the right one? Joe Perry.
That's
Joe Perry.
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Steve Perry is the one that was from Journey. He was from Journey.
Yes.
He's the one who went his separate ways, both lyrically and literally.
Yes, he did. He carried on his wayward son. Nope, wrong band. Okay, moving on.
And I could say I love Led Zeppelin, and you don't get the joke because I already know you got a great, awesome Spider-Man T-shirt on, which means you've seen the movie naturally, right?
Everyone at work the past 2 days. Trent, what'd you think about Spider-Man? No, I haven't a spoiler-free world or whatever. But everyone I've talked to said that they really enjoyed it, and they tied up my biggest fear and one of my complaints of Endgame. I was told wraps up very quickly and easily and well put in the first scene of the Spider-Man.
Almost the first scene, because it opens up on much in the same way that Homecoming opened up with the cleanup in a post original Avengers world, where Toomes is he's got the crew cleaning up all the mess of the Chitauri mess, basically. Yes. In this, once again, it does start off somewhere else with different people and then goes into something else. But I mean, I guess we could do this just because we might hit on some of them, but it's not going to be on the whole time. So this is your warning, folks.
Spoiler alert.
We're going to talk about Spider-Man Far From Home just a little bit.
Just a little, you know what? Just we're gonna scratch the surface.
Yeah, but it's gonna be completely irrelevant. Okay.
Okay.
It's gonna be. We're stepping into the spoiler zone, Trent. You don't have a spoiler zone, and I can't copy and paste it in there.
No, it's all good.
But it's just gonna be for a little bit of time. So by the time this warning ends, you know that we're gonna talk about some stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just be advised. If you can even hear
Spoiler
that.
alert.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
All right, go away.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Quiet, you.
Yeah, exactly. So what part are you talking about?
So at the end of Endgame, I had beef with Hong hugging Peter as they walked into hike school together, because we didn't know if Hong had been snapped or not, and if he hadn't, then he's been in some definite remedial courses and has not passed 5 years worth of high school.
Yeah, he also hasn't aged at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that beef was resolved very quickly.
Okay, good.
And the only other thing I will say, I never thought about this. And if we can talk about Avengers Endgame for another moment, just for the heck of it, which by the way comes out digital July 30th, even though they just did the cash grab re-release, which I hear didn't get them where they wanted to go. They Avatar is still the #1 movie. Everybody loved them blue kitties. Yeah. Well, hey, we hadn't seen that level of cool digital technology yet.
No, because of the unobtainium, Will.
Yes.
Will.
Definitely. Yeah.
It was called unobtainium.
I got a really big problem with that, dude. Can we stop talking? I'm not here to talk about Avatar. I don't want to talk about the Avatar. I don't want to do it. Don't bring it up. Okay?
At least when you have a character Kilgrave you acknowledge that his name is Kilgrave and how ridiculous that sounds, right?
Yes.
No, they're just no. It's straight faced. This is unobtainium. I'm sorry. Moving on.
Okay, but we're obtaining it, so can we get a rename? I'm just, please.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Oh God, whatever.
It's like, oh yeah, no, that town is in the middle of no man's land.
Well, then it's not a town.
Or it's not no man's land.
Exactly.
Anyway, well, actually, it could just be women or aliens. We don't know, but neither here nor there. Anyway, one of the things I'm blissfully unaware of some of the pedanticness that's been going on the internet. And, you know, one of the biggest problems I think people had, because you remember in Avengers Endgame, right before the Hulk does a snap, which, by the way, if you want to get pissed off at me for spoiling Avengers Endgame, you know, I'm in good company with Tom Holland at this point, because he was on the oh God, I can't remember the name of the British guy's talk show.
I know who you're talking about, though.
Graham Norton?
Yes.
Yes. Anyway, he was on there, and he brought up something from Endgame, and people were on the internet mad because it's like, oh, thanks, spoiling it. What, you were waiting for home video? Sorry.
Yeah, it's been how long?
Well, actually, it's just been since the end of April. April 24th, I think, or wasn't it? Somewhere around there?
June.
July. Yeah, it's 3 months. Fair.
3 months.
Like I said, it's coming out on home video July 30th.
Yeah.
So, or
Yeah.
digital July 30th. Now, and we'll get into that later. But one of the big problems right before he did the snap, you know, one thing that Tony stipulated was, you know, bring them back, you know, where they were just today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No other
Same as they were,
shenanigans.
just bring them back.
Yes, no other shenanigans. It's so
Yep.
fun cutting to you when you're frozen. But no other shenanigans. None, you know, none whatsoever. And I
Right.
wasn't aware there were people on the internet that were pissed off because they're like, well, what if they were in an airplane during the snap and now they're coming back and they're you know, they can't be in the same spot because, you know, time and space move. Well, you know, so what? Guess what, folks? The Earth friggin' moved too. It wasn't in the same place.
Yeah,
Space magic,
unless-
relax.
Yeah, unless it was the exact same, like even if it was the exact same time and date of the year, it would be slightly different.
Yes, because they've actually discovered the universe is still continuously expanding or moving.
Expanding,
It's doing all
yeah.
kinds of stuff. So,
And the continents are shrinking and moving and everything else too.
dude, it doesn't matter. Space magic, right? So
Yeah,
it's
right,
just-
exactly. It's a stupid comic book, people.
Yeah, all you have to really do is just simply say, you know, just bring them back where they were safely. You add
Yeah.
safely in, and the space magic puts them where they should be.
Yeah,
which is fine.
exactly.
And the interesting thing too is in the beginning of Far From Home, they addressed that very quickly and very very briefly via the two newscasters at the school who both were brought back in. And they referred to it as the blip. So when people came back, they blipped.
Okay.
And you know, it's like during the snap, there was a marching band playing. And during the blip, it was a baseball game in the gymnasium. And suddenly band members show up again. And
Yeah.
basketball players, I mean, just run right into them. So anyway, it was cute. That's all I'll say about the movie. I'm sorry to hear you haven't seen it yet. But I got to tell you, it was just an enjoyable romp. In the Spider-Man adventure, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Saw it at 7 p.m. with my daughter. I got to tell you that Dolby Cinema experience thing, it's really nice, dude. Reclining chairs, cup holders, and the best part is if somebody sits next to you. We're not going to talk about any spoilers. Let me get rid of that spoiler thing so people don't like. I don't want to talk to those guys because they're going to screw up my world. You have a minimum of at least 6 inches between you and the person next to you at the worst.
Gosh.
The only
I mean, we're talking like first class seating here.
Kind of, yeah, because, you know, it can recline and you can adjust
Yeah.
everything. The only thing that I feel bad is if it's a family of 3 going, generally the chairs are love seats. So there's kind of like an armrest between you. So, you know, then if you're a family of 3, somebody sit next to somebody, but there's still an armrest between you, so relax.
Yeah.
But it also rumbles with a little bass
Ooh.
rolling. So it's really
Ooh.
nice. And like I said, it's like an IMAX quality screen almost. So in those it was much better than my viewing of Homecoming, which was in, I think it wasn't even the IMAX theater. It was the same one we were in, but before it was remodeled. And
Okay.
and the one thing I will never forget is that, because again, remember that was like a July 7th release or something. The air conditioning was out, and I literally remember at the point where Toombs opens the door for the date. Like, I was really enjoying the movie, but I literally had to take a napkin and just wipe down my gross bald head.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
know?
Yep. No, I could not go to a theater without air conditioning. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm living in a house without air conditioning, so that's
Hey,
always nice. I'm living your life, my friend.
as I've got like the industrial fan blowing on me right now.
Oh, you do have. I don't even have one running because I'm like, oh no, I don't want it to mess up the audio. Yeah, great. Suffer, Will. Thankfully we've been having a little bit of cool spell, but it's the same thing every time, and it's the same thing that has happened every single time the air conditioning has had issues here. This time it's the compressor that's inside the condenser unit outside. It had a leak at the point on the compressor itself where it has like a copper nub that comes out for them to sweat the piping onto for your internals. But it's been under warranty, but naturally it happens before the 4th of July. Actually, it happened late June, so we're still waiting.
Oh,
and the part that really chaps my hide is that they don't, the home warranty thing that I've got that I'm getting rid of now doesn't cover the coolant. They cover $10 per pound on the coolant, and that's it. And so if you think about between one leak I had because of rubbing on one pipe, the compressor replacement, and I think there was another one that I don't remember what was there, and now this replacement, I will have spent roughly $2,500 in coolant over the past 4 years.
Yeah, that $10 is not helping.
No, it doesn't help. And then and then the part that, then that really cheeses you off is, well, like for $2,500, that's definitely a good condenser for outside.
Totally, yeah.
That I could have covered, and then I would have to worry about probably the coils inside if they match or not, and installation, and so it's just a little frustrating when you think you're half or a third of the way to a new system. Just wasted.
Already. Yeah.
But where I live, you kind of need air conditioning. But anyway, so what I was saying is, it's been the same thing every time now. Usually I go buy either a portable or a window air conditioner, big one.
Sure.
Put it 1,400 BTUs, I think, or 1,300 BTUs, and that is in the family room window. And there's one comfortable room in the house, so. And then
it forces family time, right?
Not really. My daughter has now officially said, "I've had enough of y'all," and she is up in her room regardless of the temperature.
See, I thought that you had like this brilliant key to parenting for teens, right? Where it's like, oh yeah, just tell the kids that the air conditioning shut off, buy one air conditioner, a window unit, and then it forces the kids to hang out with you. Nope, not even that. They will suffer.
Yeah. Well, like
just
I said,
for their independence.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a cooling spell, so the weather hasn't been as bad, which because I think usually there's a 5 to 7 degree difference between us and you. The only difference is you probably have more humidity.
No humidity.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, because humidity makes everything miserable. So that went in, and that's been working. And then at night, I once again, I have another system, the high velocity fan like you've got, or one similar. That goes into one window downstairs.
Yep.
Upstairs windows open, stuff blowing in. And my wife, God bless her, woman who cannot stand to have a window open at night, because we have a main street behind our house.
Yeah.
And it's not like the sound of the ocean, folks. It's not calm and relaxing at all.
No.
So she listens to that, but we've had the window open, so it works. Last night it was really cool, so I'm like, oh, you know what, we can forego this, no big deal, because usually we wake up, upstairs is about 73, 74 degrees, downstairs is about 71 or 72. Not bad.
That's great.
Last night I forewent the fan downstairs. My daughter, Emily, the older one, has been busting out a queen size air mattress every night and sleeping in the family room with the big
Oh,
ceiling
yeah.
fan and the air conditioner. And so last night I'm like, you know what? Maybe we don't need this. So I left it closed. Woke up this morning upstairs 74, downstairs 75. I'm like, oh hell no.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. In fact, I've got it down to a system now, where I'm just watching, and the second that it's cooler outside than it is inside, everything flies up, and then one side of my house, the fans in the windows are blowing out, and then
Ooh.
the other side they're sucking in, and it creates an awesome just like breeze through the house. It's great.
That is an excellent poor man's whole house fan scenario.
Yeah. Yep. Totally.
I should really kind of do the same thing if I were smart, but I'm not.
Because I mean, those like 3-speed box fans are like $10, and they're huge, and they'll last you a season, and that's basically all they're designed to do. But they sit in the windows perfectly, so.
And that's all you need. That's
Yeah.
all you need, Trent.
Yeah.
It brings me some joy. Not a lot. The only thing I will say is that with the increased level of noise that I'm not accustomed to, and I gotta admit, man, we got like blackout curtains all over our bedroom
Ooh, I need to do that.
for some great sleeping, situations. It's just nice and dark. It's been 3 weeks now. I don't know if you guys watching the video, all one of you, can make out the bags under. I have not had a good night's sleep in 3 weeks.
Dude, when it's warm though, I've felt the same way, and I always sleep better with a fan on just for the white noise, but even like it just hasn't like been cold enough even to sleep lately.
Yeah, that's kind of the world I'm living in. That and all the extra noise, because it's not just because usually, there's usually this.
Right.
What is that called? Like not a pedestal fan, but it's a fan that's on a stand. It's a stand fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I've got usually that's blowing on me, and it's the only fan that's going in the room. But now we got that, the ceiling fan. There's also a little air circulator that I'll sometimes put in the window up. I mean, I'm desperate. And by the way, everybody without air conditioning, they're just sitting at home listening to this going BOOHOO. Yeah.
They're just playing their little violins.
You know what I haven't tried, though, is your trick with taking the flat sheet and sticking it in a plastic bag.
Oh, dude, yes. So good. Throw it in the freezer, man. Pull it out. Oh gosh. It hasn't got that cold, that warm yet for me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, but man, I'll tell you, it's definitely kind of been there for me. When it's the nights that really cheese me off are the ones where it's like 83 degrees still outside at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Those are the ones where people just don't. You don't want to be near me. You don't.
like. So we have the term hangry, right?
Yeah.
We need a term for warm angry or too hot angry. Dude, at my office, I have a little desk fan that blows on me all the time. And my poor cubicle mate, the graphic designer, she's like wrapped up in a coat. But it's like I'm not like, if you want me to dress business casual, like this is as like free flowing as it gets for me, folks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I understand. I'm a like usually in here I've got the fan going too, but then again this room, what is it? Southern facing wall. So
yeah. And it's upstairs.
No, it's down. I'm downstairs, and I've been downstairs for a while, but still.
Oh yeah, because you swap. Yeah.
Southern facing wall means that's where the sun is all the time.
All day long.
Yeah. But you know what? It's fine. Usually with the ceiling fan and an air conditioner that works, I'm good.
So, Will,
Yeah.
July 4th and 5th,
Yeah.
looked up the highest Googled things on the Googles. And Utah came in number 2 for this, but it was one of the most searched things. Oregon came in first. One of the most searched things on the 4th and the 5th. Never ending story.
And I know why, because I've got no life, and I'm assuming you're laughing because you're the same way.
Totally, man.
It took for those of you that don't know what we're talking about. Stranger Things season 3 dropped, And
It did.
it took me a few days because, I have a family and children and stuff, but I watched the entire thing. Same for you?
Yep. Yeah. I was the whole holiday weekend. I was just working in the yard. So when it was too hot to work in the yard, I just went in and watched Stranger Things, and then when it cooled down, I went back out and worked, and then watched until I fell asleep. And I plowed through it, man. But yeah, it was just really funny that was like the most searched, one of the most searched things in the United States. And gosh, this season is such a love letter to sci-fi, horror, and thriller movies of the 80s, man. There are so many like scenes that are like straight up like, hey, look what we're doing. This is like that one movie in that one scene where there's that really strong looking guy in a black leather jacket looking into the camera about ready to get on his motorcycle and chase you down.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying, because there's
or
a guy that's
like
very Terminator-like.
Right, yeah, or like, oh, there's this like big monster thing that's like got its mouth coming down right on top of someone's face, and it's just holding it out right in front of their face. I'm like, what, the aliens? Oh, exactly, man. Like
this guy's happy though. See him? He's a happy little face hugger, isn't he?
Yeah. But there are so many like just little like quick like 10 frames or whatever that are just like perfect like recreations of iconic 80s like pop culture. It was so good. I love this season.
Mario Flores on Facebook says, "Fly, Falcor, fly." Indeed.
Yes.
I gotta say, interestingly enough, I don't know why this happened. I went into Stranger Things 3 for some reason thinking, that it was the last season when it's
so
not.
did I.
I don't know why I thought that, but I went back and I found out it's because there are articles that said that basically they saw this as a 4 to 5 season story is what it is.
Okay.
Oh, and he's pointing out the monster. Mario Flores on Facebook also saying it's the Thing and the Blob is what it's a combination of the monster.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that too. And then luckily the epilogue shows that in the last episode shows that there will be more seasons to come.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you hope, either that or it's just a big FU to the fans.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, so the first, whenever I finish something, I'm always like, is there more? Get on the Google machine. And the Duffers said definitely one more season.
Yeah, which is good because holy hell. And if you do have a Netflix subscription and you haven't seen it, hopefully if you've seen other Stranger Things seasons, I would definitely encourage you, if you haven't watched it, to watch it.
Oh yeah. I liked it a lot better than the second season.
Hold on, Randy Chang is saying, is there no longer a live YouTube stream? This Facebook stream doesn't seem to work for me. I may have accidentally had it set to unlisted. Sorry. Now, what was your statement, Trent? What did you say?
I was just gonna say that and hi Randy, how are you doing?
Yeah.
I like the season a lot better than the second season.
Granted, you know what? Go ahead.
Like we got more Brett Gelman, who freaking just crushes his role. I'm so glad they brought that character back.
Was that the guy who plays Billy or somebody else?
The conspiracy theorist.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. He's everything he's in. He's always so good. But again, I think which I won't say what speculation on season 4 because it could be a spoiler. But what makes this third season, I think, better than the second season is that it's localized. It's Hawkins, right? It's something that you can wrap your mind around, and it's important to these specific people, and it's not too big. And particularly the 7th episode in the second season where Elle is on excursion, it just doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's outside of Hawkins, like, I don't know. And this season it's all in Hawkins. And so that's what I think makes it good. Like if the Goonies were to like go on like the Cannonball Run, it would be less good, right?
Yeah. By the way, Randy, if you go to youtube.com/netheads on there, it should be public now. You could be the only guy that's now tweeting or chatting with us on YouTube. Yeah, I think I really liked this season compared to last season had a much better balance because
Totally. Yeah.
with this many characters they tend to we definitely saw it last season and there was some of it the season before, but you have a lot of stories that go different directions to kind of bring everyone together. So you have characters going on their own
Yeah.
way, and I think if there's any one thing I loved from season 2, it was the combination of Steve and the kid with the teeth that I can't remember his name in the movie.
Yes.
Or in the show. What is his name?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. But they were a
I know
great
Mike
combo.
and Will,
Yeah.
and then the other two.
Yeah. And he did they had a great kind of near the end of the season, they had a great chemistry, and they capitalized that on this season. Really enjoyed that. I mean, look, honestly speaking, it had much better pacing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I agree. And it's essentially 4 different storylines all going on that eventually merge, which is freaking brilliant. And I almost wonder, I'm sure it's not, but the pacing is so good that you don't feel that it's disjointed. I was just wondering if there were scheduling and shooting problems, and that's why it was written so separately as far as everyone on their own individual quest and journey and stuff. I don't think that was the case. It was just made for a great story.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, like you said, in season 2, we kind of got that. We kind of had that in season 3 as well, because there was kind of the story of Mike's sister and Steve. There was the 4 guys, and then there was 11. And those were kind of 3 separate things that sometimes interwove and sometimes didn't. This season, for season 3, was very much more structured in separate stories that come together in a gigantic narrative. And really, when you think about it, I mean, I'm sure from production standpoint, a logistical nightmare. Because think about all the different stories that you do have. Because you have Hopper and Will's mom. You basically have the 3 boys. And
Elle.
Sometimes you have Billy, and then you have Mike's sister and Will's brother. And I mean, that's and I'm sure there's one more.
And then you've got Steve and Robin.
Yeah.
And then Erica, great addition to the Scooby crew.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because you can't spell America without Erica, Will.
No, you can't. That was an excellent add-in. But here's the thing: I really should have done a primer because I totally forgot the fact that she was Luke or Lucas's brother or sister.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever brought up.
Yeah.
Until the penultimate episode, because maybe she was in season 1 or 2. I don't remember.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I didn't realize it until the penultimate episode. And I was like, oh, this is so much. And then the end, that whole ending sequence where they're in not the epilogue, but the 3rd act when they're wrapping everything up. Just your geek heart grows so freaking big with her and it's great. It's so good. If you haven't seen it, totally go see it. I freaking loved it.
Yeah, go see it in your living room on your laptop.
Yeah,
what do you say?
Go take the time and effort to take your shoes off and sit down.
Let's see now. Mario Flores saying, give Steve a jetpack. He's the next Rocketeer. And Christopher, 2 different names I can't read, who says, how about Jake Busey looking like a certain orange guy we know? I didn't pick up on that. Did you?
I just thought he looked like his dad to no freaking end.
Yeah, I always
I didn't know that his last name was Busey, but I said to my roommate, I'm like, that's gotta be Gary Busey's son, man. It's gotta be.
Well, I've been a fan of his since The Frighteners, so I'm pretty sure that was him in that one, Jake Busey. Pretty sure, my friend. That's an excellent sorry about that. It's an excellent season. It really makes me look forward to season 4. I just hope it's not going to be 2 years. I mean, look, selfishly, I don't want it to be 2 years till the next one, but if you get this kind of quality,
so what was I reading? Was it Vulture was speculating it would be November 2020.
I accept that.
So a year and change. Not bad.
Well, there is a little something near the end of the story where they're like, "Oh, well, I'll see you at Christmas. I'll see you at Thanksgiving." So
Yes, and with the epilogue, it might have lend to being filmed in the winter as well.
yeah, well, when last season 2 was around Thanksgiving or was around Halloween, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah, and this was all 4th of July, so I'm guessing that the next one will be probably a Thanksgiving release for Christmas type thing.
I really like the way they did kind of just tie this to the holiday we're all experiencing anyway. So that was really cool. It was,
Totally. Yeah, it's so smart.
and I love just basically delving again into this world that I distinctly remember from my teens and probably from your early childhood, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Right down to oh shoot. At the during the third act, they kind of do the recap through the television magazine show.
Oh
And
yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but it was a real television magazine show back in the day, but I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, I don't know if it was a real one. I just know it was very much like Hard Edition or whatever.
Yeah,
One of those
yeah,
shows.
yeah.
Which, by the way,
like a less journalistic 2020.
yeah, I didn't pick up on this. Hard copy is like one of them that it was like that.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking. I didn't pick up on this. I had to go back and listen to it. Saw somebody tweet about it, and the dude retweeted it. The voice for that, uncredited, Ralph Garman.
Aha! Okay.
Yeah, so that was cool. That was
Non
nice.
sequitur.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ralph Garman,
Yeah.
and I'm sure this has been brought up before.
Okay.
But I watched is it Adam DeMamp from Workaholics?
Adam Devine.
Devine.
Devin?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, because DeMamp is his last name in Workaholics. Divine.
There you
or
go. I
Devine.
gotcha.
Yeah, is his IRL name. Yeah. So I watched his stand-up special that's on Netflix, and good God Almighty, he looks like the spawn of one Ralph Garman to no end in that special. Like uncanny the resemblance that the two have.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Which I'd never seen in Workaholics or anything else, but during the special, I'm just like, what? Like, just kind of like a weird feeling. Like is this a Mandela effect type thing? What's going on?
No, it's one of those things where you're like, because I felt the same way, oddly enough, when I was seeing Clerks, originally. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, even though it was black and white and it was an indie film, I still felt like so many of these people I was seeing looked familiar. But I think that's because they were like everyday people. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
don't get me wrong.
Literally.
Brian O'Halloran is a professional actor. Veronica.
Sure.
The girl who played Veronica. I can't remember her name. Oh my God.
Yes.
Marilyn Gigliotti, I think.
It does start with a G.
Yeah, she was also an actress. So I mean, they were actors. Don't get me wrong, but they just came off as just so
Yeah.
normal. I felt like I saw them or knew
But
them.
Snowball wasn't an actor.
No, yeah, it wasn't. And I've had that with other people too, where it is somebody that looks so much like somebody. You're like, oh my gosh, it's
Yeah.
why these people have got to be nope, not related at all.
Nothing, nope. Just, and then when you think about, the billion some odd people on Earth, it's like, oh, okay, sure. Like, why wouldn't there be someone that looks like someone else?
Exactly. I mean,
A
I've seen.
Doppelganger, if you will.
No, don't you dare. So basically, Netflix Stranger Things season 3, big thumbs up from you.
Huge thumbs up, man. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I did too. And I gotta admit something else, Trent. I've been doing something weird lately.
Oh,
well,
you sure you want to admit this to the internet, Will?
No, it doesn't involve.
Not just your incognito browser.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't involve odd clothing or anything like that. Because I know we talked about it very briefly. I at least talked about it. And I still want to go back and now read the book, even though I know the ones in original art.
I know what you're talking about.
But Good Omens, it has literally already moved up in the ranks for me, along with here. Let me tell you what I'm getting at. Let me not beat around the bush.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to bed first, if my wife is staying downstairs watching something and I go up to bed, I like to put on the TV so that way it will stream something and I'm listening to something familiar. It's comforting.
Yep.
And then there's a light source for her when she comes in.
Totally. I understand completely.
For the longest time now, it was whatever episodes were available from season 3 of The Good Place on Hulu until they went away. Now it's back to like seasons 1 and 2 of The Good Place on Netflix.
Yep.
What else has come from? There's this, and now lately, this one has moved up very quickly. Good Omens. I love just putting on. I think collectively I've seen it 3 times now.
Really?
Yeah, I think if you compare all the times that if you piece it together, it's at least 3 viewings.
Man, it is. I mean, I having gone through a very religious childhood and youth, just love anything that takes like the myth, right, of religion and plays with it, right? So like Preacher, also Neil Gaiman, the Lucifer universe, the Sandman universe, obviously Dogma. This type of stuff I just think is look, this sci-fi has been around for thousands of years, and people are playing with it, and it's so much freaking fun. And like, man, it upset a few people though, apparently, on the internet.
Really? About what?
So this is a fun story. There was a group, and I mean, this made some pretty big news. They got a bunch of signatures asking to have it removed from the streaming service, and they sent it into Netflix.
Yes, they did.
And Netflix was like, "Okay, we won't air it."
Okay. Then they even reached out to Amazon and they said, "Hey, look, if you guys cancel Stranger Things, we'll cancel Good Omens."
Yeah. And before we move on completely, Randy Chang on Twitter brings up a really good point as far as the release of the 4th season. Given that they're still using kids as the principal characters, they really can't afford to wait too long to start production on Stranger Things 4. And he's right. And the even just from 2 to 3, you can tell that 11 has aged. I thought it felt like she had aged the most, and Will had like grown quite a bit as well. He was a lot taller than he was. Not Will.
Well, both of them.
Yeah.
Mike. All of them.
Well, gosh, Mike and Will in that opening scene in the theater, they almost look like twins.
Yeah.
It's weird.
And look, I know we got to commit to the time and all, but seriously, the gym running shorts that I didn't like them then. I don't like them now.
No.
Can we please omit these from the wardrobe? I'm begging.
The Magic Johnson basketball shorts that are just like,
it's like, dude, I know there's just any minute there's gonna be a mishap. I don't want to be looking at plums. I just know it.
We're gonna have a Lenny Kravitz-esque wardrobe malfunction here.
Somebody's gonna be showing brain any minute. No.
It's like chewing gum. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so Good Omens.
But you were so right, man. Freaking you suggested it to me, watched consumed, gobbled it up, and I'll be damned, man. David Tennant is the most charismatic human being alive.
Oh Lord, yes. Especially in that
as a demon
that role. Yeah, I mean, and it's no surprise because when he was Kilgrave in Jessica Jones, it was a very similar thing.
The brilliance of that first season, I think, and why the other 2 suffered is critically had a lot to do with not having David Tennant in Jessica Jones after that, because he's so charismatic that even though he's a little different in Good Omens, but in Jessica Jones, he's so charismatic that you want to like him regardless of what he's doing.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely in Good Omens. I definitely got. I mean, obviously in Jessica Jones, I did not have that feeling at all. And don't get me started on that because after I went through Stranger Things, suddenly you know what? I didn't watch Jessica Jones, and that came out, and I got to episode 9. I've given up.
Yeah, I plowed through. Man, not great. That third season. The second season wasn't great either.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I think up until here's my thing with the Netflix Marvel shows. Here was my big problem, and I don't think, to my memory, I don't think the 3rd season of Daredevil suffered from this. I think that was a pretty coherent story. But
the second season did a little.
There's always a point where it's just like they've all got to do some stupid stuff because we got to fill episode counts.
Yep.
And for me, it was just like, oh, so, and like literally, I was doing. I've described it before here, where I do microwave viewing, where it's just like, okay, they're having a heart-to-heart about something. Blip, 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 blip. Give me the last minute of it. Okay, summation. Now we're moving on.
Yep.
And so yeah. So I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying I couldn't get. I just went on and I read Vulture's breakdowns for the rest of the episodes to save myself some time.
Yeah.
I was like, I was okay with that.
Yeah.
But Good Omens, again, folks, it's got all of the awesomeness and energy of like Douglas Adams and the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah. Oh, great analogy.
Right? And it's got
For comparison.
and seriously, if you don't like David Tennant, or if you think he's enjoyable through the first 2 episodes, wait until the entire, mind you, 15 to 20 minute pre-credit sequence of the 3rd episode, where you are seeing these 2 angels through the years.
Maybe my favorite episode.
Yeah, Angel and Demon.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because it's so entertaining, you completely forget the moment you ended on in book 2, or in episode 2.
Yeah. Episode 2, yeah.
So I can't recommend it enough. It is just, and it was just a good, solid story from beginning to end. I mean, which is probably the reason why I keep replaying it. And once again, I love little subtle things like I almost called him Kilgrave, but Crowley's just love everything, like from the 80s on. He just loves Queen. He's always listening to Queen in his car.
Yep.
Which played really well.
In his 1930s Bentley.
Yes.
With a premium sound system.
Yep. That it was which, by the way, just a gorgeous car. Just beautiful.
Oh, so great.
But very fitting. Like I even love there's one point he just this is like, folks, this is leading up to the end of days, all right? Like literally leading up to the day of the apocalypse. And like it's a point now where it's just hours away, and he is despondent, and he just says, I don't know, should I feel bad for littering? Doesn't really matter right now. It drops what he was holding. But seriously, David Tennant, yeah, I think we knew from seeing him play in the role of the Doctor in Doctor Who. I think we saw how charismatic and energetic he is. And with Kilgrave, we saw how creepy he is. And by the way, it's nothing to take away from Michael Sheen. He did a great job as well in that movie, or in that series.
Absolutely, and I think that's what allows Tennant's character to stand out so well, because Sheen plays such a good straight man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he really does, just like he's just the perfect straight man. Like you could, like, it's a Pixar movie.
Yeah, quite. Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is. It's structured a lot like a Pixar movie, and it works perfectly with the cast that they have.
Yeah, it really I can't recommend it enough. And the narrative methodology that they use, usually I'm a big opponent of voiceover.
Yeah.
Because usually it's usually used as a writer's crutch to get out of something.
Yep. Totally.
But not in this case. It sets the tone from the beginning and carries it through.
Like it that aspect of it I thought was done well, not unlike in Stranger Than Fiction, right, where they have the narrator that's like writing the book as it's going along. It kind of felt that way because that was God's voice, right, the whole time.
Right.
You just hear God speaking. Getting chills. It's so good.
Yeah, it really is. And then I will say, for repeatability, it's got great elements as well, like the freeway or highway that goes around London. That it becomes a thing later on in the story. It's even mentioned in the beginning, the very first episode. There's something in there about, like, one of his greatest accomplishments, including this, or that is referenced in like the first episode.
That's right. Yeah. Where he's like bragging to the other.
No, that's where he brought the cell networks down. No, this was.
Oh, okay.
I think this was the narrator saying, something about it. And it's even referenced in the opening animation. Which, by the way, it's the only show where I haven't skipped the intro. because
It is. It's like stop motion meets like marionette puppets meets like traditional like
Okay.
2D animation. Like
it's Monty
Oh.
Python animation, guys. That's what it is.
yeah, you're
Right?
right. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it and you're right though. There's like the Kraken is like in the
Mhm.
back for a second. Like all these pieces are and as you watch the series, right? The intro makes more and more and more and more sense.
Yep. Yeah, it's one of those things where, much like when I've been gleefully watching like Homecoming, and when I watched Far From Home as well, when I reflect on it later, there are almost everything that's present in the story is in service of the story. You know, like in Homecoming, when when Spider-Man Peter Parker loses his backpack because he attached it to a dumpster, the dumpster's hauled off. That is an important element because he then needs Ned's laptop later in order to hack the suit because he no longer
Right.
has a laptop. There are little elements that just they mean something, and Far From Home has many different little things as well. Like there's a scene where technology is used, and that introduces us to another piece of technology, which what that does is it helps us to have an easier experience in digesting when that technology is used again later. So they're like setting the table, here's a little bit of it, now boom, here's the big piece of it. And that's the reason why but it also does it in a really humorous way. An excellent part of the story and a very humorous interlude occurs because of it. So nothing is kind of wasted. So it's thoroughly enjoyable. Good Omens does the exact same thing. Almost everything exists in service of. I think the only thing that doesn't was the way that Crowley gets his plants to grow so nice. That part was the only part that doesn't really serve any other purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, kind of ties into his imagination part a little bit.
Oh, good point. Good point.
But still, that's explained through his imagination, right? The narrator even says that, even though he's treating his car like his plants at that point.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Good point. So, wow, I hadn't thought of that. See, you're teaching me
Yeah.
something. You're learning me good, Trent. I like it.
Oh, it was. I'm glad you recommended it to me because it's been sitting at the top banner of my Fire Stick for a while now, and you were like, "Oh no, dude, you definitely got to watch it," and it was well freaking worth it.
Oh, speaking of which, Trent, if you're ready to finally switch off from that and we could actually talk about tech as a tech podcast.
Tech podcast.
I don't know if you know what hit the news today. As a Fire Stick owner, one of the most
Go
frustrating
on.
things is when you want to watch YouTube on your Fire Stick,
Oh,
you have to go through the
yes.
Silk browser.
Yes.
Well, apparently Amazon and Google have made nice
Hallelujah.
because you can now legit
Hallelujah.
have an app, I think, on your Chromecast for Prime Video, and
Yep.
likewise, there's a legit YouTube app now on your Fire Stick.
Before, if you wanted to watch a Prime Video, you had to cast your entire screen, and then Google, if you're on Android, or just casting anything off of your screen from Prime Video, dumbed it down to below standard def.
Mm-hmm.
You were at 36, and so finally we have a way where they can play nice together, and everyone wins.
Yeah,
The consumer
exactly.
wins.
Well, that's one of the things, like part of the reason people may say, why exactly do you go to this great length to do the video? It's only because it's multicasting and it's trying to make the user experience wherever people are. That's where we want to be able to provide something.
Yeah.
So in this case, it's a similar thing. It's more about your content being available. It doesn't really matter how you get it out there because you just want people to be on it. That's the important part. That's the part that is pays the bills, if you will. So the easier it is for people to access Prime Video, the easier it will be for people to, or the more it'll motivate people to buy video through Prime Video. And likewise with YouTube, the easier it is for people to digest it, even though I got to admit the Silk browser wasn't really that bad of a hack, if you will.
No, it wasn't bad, but it was just an extra step.
Look,
right?
man, don't get me started on YouTube because wait, I brought it up.
Are
But
they they're gonna ask us to sign up for a subscription every time I frickin' load it.
Oh, I have no idea. But the one thing that drives me nuts about YouTube itself is the inconsistency of the platform. Because obviously the biggest versatility and the fullest feature set is when people are watching through a web browser, Chrome or what have you.
Oh, by far, yeah.
But
by
if
far.
you're on the app, like one of the things that you're supposed to do, and everybody does it. I guess that's the reason why. And, we attempt to do it here too. Like if you watch the video on Facebook, you'll get 20 seconds of nothing at the end of this because there's just the NetHeads logo, and that becomes an end card for the YouTube video. But if you but you only see what we want you to see there because there's a subscribe button. There's this video and that video. We try and get you deeply engaged with us that way, trying to give you a first taste is free and then we hook you kind of thing. That doesn't exist if you're watching like on the app on an iPhone or an Android. It doesn't exist. It's not there. So it's like Google, come on, guys, get it together. Because really, the same thing should work everywhere. It's like if we want to get people to subscribe, that button should be there. But no.
I mean, yes, I understand why they don't just because those sit on top of the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just but if you're watching it landscape wise, there's room for it to be there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's.
You're right.
It's one of those things. Look, man, I'm not a developer, so I don't know. I ain't got the knowing.
And Google is not known for its execution of good UI. I mean, Chromecast still is so gosh damned hard to skip forward in something you're playing or skip backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I bought a Fire Stick.
Yeah.
I wanted a remote.
There you go. Me too. The exact same reason. We want easy. We want, and that's the one thing I will admit that the Fire Stick has made almost the easiest is just the ability to do almost everything I want through one device. Yep. The only thing that's frustrating is when you do get into these media issues. For example, my daughter has the entire Twilight series that was gifted to her. And that was through Ultraviolet, and it was and same thing with the Hunger Games movies and the Lionsgate. Now, that means I could transfer that Ultraviolet library because guess what, folks? Ultraviolet, dead.
Right, yeah.
As a media service.
Yeah.
You got the notice too, right?
Yep, I got all the notices, yeah.
But you can connect it to a free Voodoo account. Now, one of the great things is that Disney, in their race for fortune and glory, they have come up with Movies Anywhere, and they got a lot of the studios subscribed to it, so that way it can centralize your library. So whether you bought it on Amazon Prime, or you bought it on Vudu, or you bought it on iTunes, or what have you, it coordinates your movie library all through there. But not everybody has bought into that. Paramount, Lionsgate, etc. haven't. So I could have I could have it on Vudu, and my daughter could watch it. But then we have to go through the app on the TV because there's no Vudu app available on the Fire Stick.
Right. Yep. The other lament, I guess I could say, I have about Fire Stick, and it's a minimal one, is that there's not a LastPass app for it, because there are a few apps that just ask me to re-sign in all the time, and it's just such a pain in the ass because my passwords are pretty intense, that I just end up casting through my phone because I have LastPass remember it on my phone instead. And granted, Amazon does have a single password login feature, but I'm already doing that with LastPass. All my shit is on LastPass. I don't want to do it again for something else.
I get you there because I'm in the same boat now. You got me into the LastPass, and it's so great.
It changes everything.
Yes, it helps make us even dumber. It's wonderful.
Dumber and more secure. What more could we want?
That's everything I want in this world. I want to be dumber and more secure. That's what I want. So that way, it's all idiocracy in the end. Yeah, that's the whole point.
Dumber and more secure.
Yes, exactly. That's what we want. We want to feel safe. We want to feel happy. But we also don't want to remember things. Well, I'm convinced the internet makes us dumber. Like I literally,
Oh yeah.
I know
for sure.
I know I have somewhat of a device addiction, I guess is the best way to put it. Not because all the gadgets and all that stupid shit. What I'm referring mainly to is that like there are times where I'm looking for it to be fed information. And I'm just like not getting anywhere. Oh, I've seen everything on Instagram. I've gotten everything I could potentially get out of the stream from Facebook. Twitter's not really doing anything, and I've already read the news. So I got no more information. I know you might say, hey, Will, why don't you pick up a book at that time? You're probably right.
But it's, I mean, if we look at like the evolutionary psychology, though, it plays into like the hunter seeker mentality that's in our DNA, right? Like we're always like on the move. We're always seeking, especially if you have a very active brain, right? You always want to be engaged in something. It's an easy way to do it.
FOMO. It's all about the FOMO, Trent.
I OMO a lot.
Miss out?
Yeah.
No. You're
missing out a lot.
Okay. That's fair enough. Fair enough. Hey Trent, I have one quick question. Where is relative to Logan, Utah? Where is Logan Canyon?
My home is right at the mouth of Logan Canyon.
Oh, okay, wonderful. So I'm sure. Now let me ask you a question because I've been wondering about this. Because lately Logan Canyon has been coming up in the news for not so cool reasons. But looking at the look on your face, my question is going to be pointless because you have no clue. So never mind. Because I was just going to be like,
I want to hear it though.
Well, I could get your perspective because I know there was the time with like somebody being trapped under a car or something. But I was just wondering what it's like when you're in an area that's getting national attention, but apparently it's not happening, or at least you're not aware of it. But Logan,
but I also don't have like news.
Yeah, well, Logan Canyon. Look, long story short, there was a student that returned to Utah, was dropped off from an Uber at 3 a.m. in the park, and I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. I don't mean to disrespect the dead. Unfortunately, she was murdered, and a suspect has been arrested and all that jazz, and her remains were found in Logan Canyon. That's where they were.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Surprise!
Normally people at work keep me updated on shit like this, but no one even brought this up to me. Maybe I need to take my headphones off at work once in a while.
By the way, if I said Logan Creek, sorry, I meant Logan Canyon.
No, you said Logan Canyon.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, anyway, that's the... So I was just wondering, but your hand is so far from the pulse. And...
Oh my God, this is crazy balls. I've got to... One of my best friends is the editor of the city section of the newspaper. I should probably look in his Slack and see if he's mentioned it at all.
What does that mean? Look in his Slack.
His Slack channel. Like we're in a Slack group. I should see what he's posting.
Gotcha. I understand now. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you I mean, I understand what Slack is. Never been able to be in an area where it's being implemented effectively, but
Oh, yeah. Understood.
No. So okay. Well, never mind. Forget about that then.
Wow. Okay.
And you know what? I think really that's about it. I don't know. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Because I just generally, I think I'm done. I can't think of anything. Well, look, next week I am going to San Diego Comic-Con again.
Yeah.
And I admit that I'm okay. It's my second year going, and it's probably going to be my last because, well, the first year it's one thing to say you're going to the Salt Lake Fan Experience Con or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
That's one thing, okay? Because it's a few days. It's a decent con, but it's still like it's a reasonable.
It's manageable.
Exactly.
Yes. It's consumable.
Yeah. The SDCC is it's a long series of lines. What do I want to get into? And so, like, last year, my biggest regret was not going into the Good Place Experience. This year, tomorrow is the day you can get reservations. July 10th, tomorrow is the day. If you're listening to this on July 11th, ignore the day reference. But you can make a reservation. So last year in this particular spot was right by the Tin Roof Cafe or something. That's where the Good Place experience was. And it was like a big front, and you go into the experience, and suddenly you're in like a mini neighborhood kind of experience.
Awesome.
You had a badge, and then
Get some froyo.
there are players in there, and they're like, they scan in like, oh, you're such and such, and you have to play along like you're Eleanor Shellstrop.
Yeah.
This year, I'm definitely going to try and make a reservation because I missed out on the Good Place. This year, it's Brooklyn Nine-Nine themed.
Oh, okay.
So I want to be able to check that out. My whole point is, last year I found it very frustrating because it was very hard to get around, very crowded, also very hot. And this year I'm being a little more focused after having been through the experience and seeing all of the activations or installations, the external things to the con. I've gotten very dialed into, okay, what is playing where? So, for example, I'm very centric on NBC and their comedy. So there's the Brooklyn Nine-Nine experience. I know when the Good Place panel will be happening. There's also going to be the International Hole of Pancakes Cafe at the Hard Rock Cafe. There's also, I think, in the Hard Rock lobby, it's a Cloud9
nice, from
Superstore
Superstore. Yeah.
theme going on. So those are things I definitely want to check out.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I'd like to try and catch some of the other items. I will say I am a little excited about one thing, although I don't know how much it will benefit me or not, because I'm able to go because I'm going to be running the tech for Kevin's Hall H panel, and the panel right before him is the recently announced Marvel panel. So, where hopefully they're going to be rolling out the new MCU plan.
Yeah, this will be Phase 4.
Yeah. Although I think Feige has said that it's nothing's going to be as big as what they did with Infinity War and Endgame, which I'm kind of glad because I'd prefer less of a slow burn, I think.
Yeah, in fact, I looked up what kind of the projections were for what was coming out next. And so the start of Phase 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Then we go into Black Widow, Doctor Strange 2, The Eternals, and then even a Shang-Chi movie.
I kind of question that, first of all, because Gunn is going to finish his Suicide Squad for DC before he even shoots Guardians of the Galaxy.
So it's not until like the end of 2020.
That is too long. That's too long. You know what? We haven't talked about this. We'll save it for the next conversation.
Because there's not any movies coming out.
Well, no, it's not because of that. No, I was just thinking because Star Wars has kind of been a hit and miss thing. I think when Disney bought Lucasfilm and they went into the Star Wars business, they thought they could MCU it kind of in a way by doing a film a year, and then that didn't play out so well, I guess, in their opinion. I don't think Last Jedi performed as well as they did or as they hoped it would, et cetera, et cetera. So, but I was just wondering, the thing I was thinking about talking about is like, has there been too much Star Wars, and do you think we're getting kind of close in that way to MCU? Because really, I think they do need to, like 3 movies a year is a bit much. Like if you think about it, last year we had Infinity War. Oh wait, no, we had Black Panther, then Infinity War, and then
Ragnarok.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Oh yeah, and in November you had Ragnarok.
Yeah.
This year we had Captain Marvel in March. We had Endgame in April, and then in July, obviously, we've got Far From Home. So I don't know though. I mean, because obviously that's a pace that is hard to keep up, and I think that they've kind of been able to do this because, narratively speaking, there have been certain movies that do tie into the end game of it all, and certain ones that kind of just existed for comedic purposes. Like Ant-Man, the first one, it really didn't serve the Infinity War saga at all.
Right. Yeah.
It was just there kind of as a breather.
You didn't have to see it to, at least the list I was working off of, and I can't remember what site this was from, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is the only thing coming out in 2020 in November. And then 3 films in 2021, Black Widow, The Eternals, and Doctor Strange 2. And then 2 films in 2022, Black Panther 2 and Shang-Chi.
That's a lot of shoe leather between Black Panther movies. Really, if you
Right?
think about it.
Yeah, especially as big as a success as it was,
Yeah.
you would think you would jump that to the start. To you know what I mean? Guardians, I think is timely, especially coming off of possibly what we'll see as the Asgardians of the galaxy. I hope. Oh, I hope. And Black Widow too, to kind of tie like give a backstory or something for her. I don't know.
Well, I know that it is kind of
Maybe they'll try and save the Hawkeye character, which they've destroyed in all the Avengers movies.
Well, all I know is if you do a Black Widow movie and you don't show us Budapest,
Right?
then why are you doing it?
Yeah, like again, that's something that could and should have probably been done a while ago.
Yeah, Sean Ryan on Facebook is bringing up, where will Thor end up? I don't know. I think what we're gonna find is it's just we're gonna be back on the Benatar, but they dropped him off somewhere and he's out just screwing around.
Yeah,
Because he's got the axe. He doesn't really need a ride. He's got the Stormbringer that can he can
Stormbreaker.
open up the whatever. He can open up the Rainbow Bridge. No, that's
Bifrost.
Yeah, the Bifrost. Thank you. Anyway, wow, that sorry, I didn't expect that to happen too, but good combo. It'll be interesting to see what they do. But also, I think now we're definitely in the area where I'm definitely in the MCU side of things. I'm spent. They've toyed with my emotions. They've torn me down and built me back up, and I don't think I can take anymore.
Yeah. I think I kind of reached peak. I mean, not that I don't enjoy every film, but I like Infinity War. I was like, man, okay, we'll wait for the next one to come out now. You know what I mean? It wasn't for me. It wasn't like, oh my God, how are they going to end this? I'm like, well, it's a comic book, so a wizard will do something and it'll be fine.
It was a magic love and space magic. Close enough.
And when you don't have an answer for him, you tell him a wizard did it.
Pretty much. Yeah, because really, that was a whole lot of build, and that's one thing I don't want to experience again too. Don't do any of this splitting. I don't dig it when studios do that. Obviously, it paid off for them, but when you have something big, don't split it up across two things anymore and space it out. I mean, at least they only did 1 year, okay? So that wasn't so bad, but don't mess with us again like that. Just don't.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We greatly appreciate it. Always appreciate you, even though, obviously, NetHeads is something we love to do. I don't want to say that it's a priority, though, because obviously we've got lives, and
and we got to pay the bills.
Yeah, that
elsewhere.
Too. Yeah, definitely. And I have, I mentioned it. I don't know if 299.1 is going it probably will go on the front end of this. But one thing I did mention that I'm toying with is just seeing, although I haven't had the energy or the attention to do it other than the one that I did, but I'm trying to see if there's a way where I can do a little daily thing on our Patreon to give you something worthwhile there, give you a reason why to become a patron of us. And if not, whatever too. And I think what I did, that's the MODOK level, which I think is a whole whopping $2 a month. But listen to the podcast first. You'll hear if anything is Mario Flores says lives you work from home. No, I do. He doesn't. Granted, it's a short walking distance, but
even shorter motorcycle drive.
Yeah, there you go. But it's I'll listen here and I'll tell you if that does really become a thing, because it is fun. But when it's only you talking,
it's hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's not fun. Although I did pretty well. But the other thing that I did do is, because it was the first time and I was so nervous, I totally skipped over a piece of content that I took a little bit of time putting together. So it was like
that you planned. Yeah.
Because it was this great clip of Chris Evans having been at a con and he swears, and then he's just like, oh, he realized what he did. And he just put his head down. And he's like, language. It was beautiful.
His publicist on the side just being like, I'm going to kick your ass so hard.
No, I don't think so anymore. I mean, because everybody is just like, we've been printing money off this guy for 10 years or 8 years now.
Right.
Which, by the way, I feel so bad having bashed Captain America: The First Avenger when I first saw it, because I have to say, rewatchability wise, it is a really good film. It really is.
It's my favorite MCU movie.
I think
My favorite. It's Cap, man.
I think of the MCU films to date, it's kind of like Cap and Guardians of the Galaxy are the two that were consistent in quality all the way across the board.
Yeah.
Because when you got Cap, you've got that. You got Winter Soldier, which was a great spy film, and then you've got, Civil War was Avengers 1.5 or 2.5 or whatever, and it was just thoroughly enjoyable, just a great romp. So Guardians of the Galaxy, same way. We were wrapping up the show. I'm sorry. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Anything you want to plug while we're here, Trent? Anything?
No. Just remember to help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered.
Very good. And I'm if you want to follow us on Twitter, I'm NetheadWW. He's a part of him. Show is NetHeads on air. Please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you actually listen to it. I don't even care if you watch any of the videos. You don't have to. But subscribe. It'll make me feel better. And that's it, folks. Until next time, my name's Will.
I'm Trent.
And we'll be back
soon.
This is NetHeads with Will Wilkins and Trent Hunsaker. Signing off.
I know, right? But stop being a little Nancy and deal with it.
NetHeads. We'll be back soon.
Goodbye.
This has been a production of Smodco Internet Radio. Sir, only at smodcast.com.
It just dawned on me right now. Oh, hey, Dave. Dave just joined us. We're leaving, Dave.
What's up, Dave?
I just realized every time we do that and we say we'll be back soon, and then we do a stinger, we're literally already fulfilling it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we literally we will be back in like 27 seconds.
Yeah, and then 3 or 4 weeks from then.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're not lying ever.
No, we're not.
But the question I have for you, Will, after all is said and done, do you feel a little bit dumber and more secure?
Always.